What makes a Battlefield game a Battlefield game? Basically, a Battlefield game could be summarized in just a few set key elements. I think the combination of these certain elements basically create the gameplay experience that we haven't seen in a few years now. And a lot of that has become synonymous with the Battlefield franchise, but the Battlefield that I remember, well, it was a lot like this. And today I just want to go over the 10 main things that make a Battlefield game Battlefield. Of course, with the recent announcement of the Delta Force game, I know the title, The Battlefield Killer, is going to be popping up on a lot of people's YouTube feeds, and in my opinion, it's not going to be that. It's never going to be that. In fact, of course, the saying Battlefield killed Battlefield is a big saying within the community, and even after all the updates, I say that very loosely, it seems to be very categorized in updates in cosmetics and lack of features. And I think for a game to be considered a true Battlefield killer or competitor or alternative, something along those lines, I think it needs these 10 elements to really go ahead and grasp that concept that I know a lot of us are begging for any developer now to basically make a game about that. Of course, starting off with number 1, large scale battles. It can't be a Battlefield killer without large scale battles, and it needs to be a decently high player count. I'm not saying over 100 players on each side. Yes, BattleBit has done that, but at the same time, I want something a little bit more modern, more realistic, a little bit better in graphics. And this could be, again, it could be from dozens of players to hundreds of players if done correctly. It needs to create a sense of chaos, immersion, yet strategic depth to basically the entire match as a whole. And you need to be working as a team throughout all of it, which brings me to my second point: team-based gameplay. Basically, every Battlefield game that I know that I've played back in the day has prioritized teamwork and collaboration. And of course, there are two teams that are divided into opposing forces, but within those teams, you have those squad elements. You have that communication with each other, whether it be simple ping notifications or telling each player what to do. Hey, I need ammo, I need health, etc. Or actually incorporating and including those other players to help secure objectives and giving rewards to those who actually work together as a team or a squad. Basically, squad A should be holding this point while squad B flanks around, squad C is heading to another point, squad D is on a tank, helicopter. I feel like the collaboration of that team can really turn the tide of a battle, and we don't really get to see that a lot in certain games. Yes, there are moments, but it's not the emphasis that I'm looking for in a Battlefield game. Also, this isn't in any particular order. I just really wanted to list some of these 10 items. But of course, with the people in tanks and jets, that brings me on to my third point: vehicles. Basically, you need vehicles in a Battlefield game. That's just the way it is. Whether it be a tank, helicopter, jet, boat, whatever it is at that point, it needs to be a role in the game. You should be able to pilot any vehicle you could look at, including forklifts. And vehicle combat is just a very big and significant part of combat in a Battlefield franchise. And number 4, with all those vehicles creating chaos, you need to be able to see the impact you have on the world. And that leads on to my number 4 point, I believe, 4. Destructible environments. Now, a lot of games seem to incorporate destructible environments, but in reality, it's just a fence post breaking here or there, or a barrier chipping off the concrete. No, I'm talking real, immense building destruction. I mean, take down the entire building, create new openings, bust a hole in that wall, and it needs to be dynamic as well too. I know the finals is doing very well with that building destruction dynamic, and I will say, when I played the beta, it was such a breath of fresh air when I finally got to basically create a hole in a ceiling that basically the team above me fell down and we were able to take them out from there. But I just feel like incorporating that within a Battlefield game would it would just be amazing at that point. And moving on to number 5 is definitely needed, since it didn't come in the last Battlefield game, is a class system. Yes, they tried to you know, fix the specialist system and incorporate them into different classes. But I think your traditional class system would make basically the Battlefield game back to where we knew it as. Especially when you look at the concept art, they made the artwork and the models for your standard assault, recon, engineer, support. They had them in the game and they just couldn't give it to us. Even in portal mode, like get rid of the specialist in portal mode and then just let us use those classes instead. I don't know what's so hard about doing that, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I'm preaching to the choir to some of you guys. I think you know where I'm coming from. And of course, moving on to number 6, I do have to say, bringing back the squad system. Yes, they finally decided to put that as a feature in these basically last couple updates, but in reality that should have been there from the start. You need a kick feature, you need a, you know, lock feature, you need communication within that squad, and squad like sharing objectives, points, resources, spawning on each other. That's basically one of the most important parts of a Battlefield game. It promotes teamwork, it promotes collaboration, it promotes communication, it promotes objective gameplay. Everything about a Battlefield game revolves around the squad. And moving on to number 7, a variety of maps and environments. Literally, they give us a map every single season, and that's just trickling maps. We all know that Battlefield back in the day used to have a diverse range of environments and just different maps and sizes and arrangements. You had your urban city landscapes, both in desert and, you know, modern city and open terrain, and it was possible to do both on the same map. The variety definitely helped kept the gameplay fresh and exciting and really let players explore the environment, take different routes, and use teamwork to move around different obstacles. But of course, the way Battlefield trickled out its content and the way they incorporated their maps, it definitely wasn't the Battlefield, you know, maps that I wanted. I don't think that any else of you guys wanted, and it really felt hard to try to figure out a way to adapt to those maps. Yes, they tried to fix them, but I felt like it was just too late at that point, and we'll just have to wait until the next Battlefield. Hopefully they learn from this one. Now moving on to number 8, I know I did talk about destructible environments a little bit before, but I wanted to go ahead and emphasize Levolution. Now, I know a lot of people might think Levolution is just a gimmick at this point, but I really feel like, especially on, I would say, Siege of Shanghai, some people hated the tower in the middle, how it was just impossible to get up to. The people were camping the elevators. Of course, you can go up there with a helicopter or getting shot up from a Jeep if you knew the glitch. But I feel like having something that, you know, transforms the map and just... to be honest, the spectacle is really cool. I think Levolution was actually a pretty cool thing that they brought in from Battlefield 4, and I feel like they could incorporate that in different ways that actually emphasize different types of gameplay into the next Battlefield game. Or of course, if any other developer wants to go ahead and take that into their own point and incorporate that into a game, of course, don't call it Levolution because of copyright reason. I think having some kind of cool, you know, destructible environment that other people can take part of is actually, I know a lot of games back in the day that used to incorporate that, and it used to be part of the objective. I know there was a game I used to play on PC a long time ago where the entire team had to destroy a wall to move on to the next objective, and it was just this big wall coming down, rockets, artillery, so many cool things, and I feel like that could be used as their Levolution. Of course, moving on to number 9, basically take everything that I said and put it together. You have combined arms gameplay, and that's blending infantry combat and vehicle combat into one cohesive mode. Now, there are moments where, you know, playing just TDM or Rush sometimes don't need vehicles, but I feel like there are moments, I mean, everyone loves Operation Metro, Operation Locker, and basically those kill funnel maps. People do enjoy those, but I definitely enjoy more the combined arms gameplay in maps, having tanks on one side, boats on the other, helicopters in the air, jets in the skies. All that combined with good infantry combat really makes for a good Battlefield game. And of course, moving on to number 10, with everything that I said with the combined arms gameplay, you need to be working towards an objective. Classic Conquest, classic Rush. In fact, I feel like the Rush game mode could be used in a different style. Instead of just going and destroying the MCOM, maybe the objectives can be changing over time. Maybe instead of just going for an MCOM, now you got to go secure some documents. Maybe you got to take out someone specifically. Maybe you got to destroy a certain part of a building. I don't know, just kind of think of your imagination. But of course we have to see what the next Battlefield game is, and I get it, games evolve over time. We can't be stuck in the past forever, but I feel like they could definitely work on bringing some of those old elements and some of the newer ones, pushing them together and coming up with a good Battlefield game in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not excited for the next season, but then again, Battlefield is Battlefield, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Of course, if you're looking behind me and you're seeing nothing right now, pretty much just boxes and stuff, yes, it's basically the last week of me being in this office. So this camera angle that you're seeing, me talking to you, it means a lot that you guys have. First of all, if you're watching towards the end, it means a lot. Thank you. And secondly, it's been a ride, it's been a journey. I know I haven't been posting in, you know, like 10 days, stuff like that, but I hope you guys understand. I'm packing, I'm moving, I'm closing on a house, I'm doing paperwork, I'm checking out the house soon, just the final things. And once I move in, expect more content more consistently, and I will basically be back officially on YouTube. I haven't really left. Again, it's just a lot of stuff happening. Hope you guys can understand. And if you did end up liking the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more future content just like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.